It's also about reinventing how we keep in touch with clients today. So we've just touched on who they are. They want you to get back really quickly. And sometimes it's worth express posting things for sure, because surprisingly, express post and parcel post, there's about $1 difference in the two, and at least express post will get there the next day, which I find very interesting. But it comes back to, how do I get my credibility? So let's say we were all at a networking event last night, some of us were, and you handed me something. So last night, Patrick, you had a number of your samples, which was very good. You stood up and they were very colourful. You were able to say, this is what I do, that's what I do. Yep. But if you said to me, in terms of the property, and you'd created a little ebook and you had it printed, and it might cost you, see, this is not to devalue anything that any gifts. But when you put a price on things, as this guy said the other day, it's worth paying you to do this ghostwriting and fixing what I write and bringing it up to date and putting it in NCIS and ditching Colombo, because I know I can slide this across and I can get the consulting, whether they read the book or not. It's my credibility. So if you hand me something that says, would you like to know, oh, where do you live? Oh, well, I'm actually not in Shellharbour. I'm a bit further up the coast. Oh, okay. So you might have a couple of ebooks that you've written and condensed into a little pocket size or DL size envelope, whatever that is, Patrick, in printing terms. And you say, here's a 20-page article about the last 3 months in this region. I put this out every 3 months. Would you like it hard copy or soft? And they go, oh, just put me on the list. I'm a hard copy person. I get an ebook, I print it out. My uni degree cost me a fortune in toner because I print out every single article they want us to read. I'd go away on the weekend with 6 inches of paper. So think in terms of, who's your customer? How do they read? And sometimes you've just got to ask them, how would you like this? If it's food, would you like a recipe a week from me? Would you like something each week from me? Would you like it once a month? But when it comes to property, so you two can align very well in terms of a mortgage broker and someone, so you've got similar people, you're arranging finance for people, you're giving information to people about what they're buying. Yeah, so it's part of the reinventing. So reinvention to me isn't just reinventing, I'm starting a parallel business that's totally different or off that tangent. Reinventing can be, how can I reinvent my business now? What do I need to take it from where it was to now? If I'm doing coaching, or if I'm even designing jewellery for someone or doing something, can I, and they're time poor, rather than the old telecoffee, I'll call you at such a time, you grab a coffee, how about we do it? And that guy that was there last night, Scoffy, he calls it, Skype over coffee. And he'll Skype someone. So you can say, great, well, I'll make an arrangement with you and we can do Skype to any country in the world to talk about my product or service, because for many of you, the fact that you've flipped from where you were with your wellness centre into where you are now, those people can be learning from you anywhere in the world. And bite-sized bits. So what we're recording today is 10 to 15 minutes of bite-sized chunks, audio, so people can just download that. So people come to you for information, and it's not just a promotional, here's how you buy this. It would be, so if you had to say, and you might just write this down on the page somewhere, 7 things people need to know about wellness centres, about buying jewellery, about working with a printer. Right, about working with a printer. 7 things, the 7 biggest mistakes people make with skin rejuvenation, with mortgage brokers, with bookkeepers. 7 biggest mistakes, or 3 biggest mistakes. So you can write a huge amount and not share your inner workings of how you do your business, but all of you know 7 mistakes, or 3 mistakes, start with 3 3 biggest mistakes people make with, well, you fix mistakes. So you could write an article. Of course, the lady last night who was talking to me about, I want to be a speaker and I want to do this, I want to do that. And I said, great, then you need to write some articles and get them out there. Local papers, you won't get paid for it, but your profile, your photo will be out there. Yeah, that makes sense? Yeah.
I've written an ebook.
Yes. How many words?
Can't remember now.
Pages?
About
20, okay. Maybe 10,000 words, 5,000 words, yeah.
Would it be worth getting that a hard copy?
Would be worth getting. Okay, so good question. If you've all, can I suggest part of your action plan, and you can maybe, till we get on to the strategic alliance we'll be getting onto shortly, but just maybe at the bottom of this page 3 where you've got a blank, do you just want to write action plan here? And can I recommend that every one of you write an ebook? Every one of you write an ebook on your current or your alternate business for the reinvention. And to answer your question, having written one, should you get hard copies? Definitely.
Because it's my story, but it's about how fitting and
Great. So
changed my life. So
yes. So it's your credibility. Now, are you going?
Are there apps or available to write in a particular format for an ebook, or?
Are there apps available to write in a particular format? I'm not an app person. You know, I did declare techno. No techno.
A program? Is there a website?
Is there a website?
Do a base?
How to write an ebook? I'm sure if you Google how to write an ebook, you'll find one. Can I give you a real... all right, here, let's flip to how to write, you know, just for 5 minutes.
If you want to set up a website, you go there.
Yes. So there's a...
Question, yeah? Is there
Yeah.
something like that for ebooks? Would you just use Word?
It's Word. It's basically Word, okay? If we just start with Word, so how about we just look at this? If we start with Word, speaking and writing are very similar. You have an introduction, a closing, or a conclusion. So reinvention in terms of writing. And we're talking about the 3 biggest mistakes. Sure, sorry. The 3 biggest mistakes people make with whatever your business is. You have an introduction and you have a closing or a conclusion, and you make a point, tell a story. Make a point, tell a story. So you have a header or make a point, and then tell a story, could be a little example. Now, when you're reinventing yourself via ebooks, that's what we'll call this, reinvention via ebooks. It's even reinvention and marketing yourself via ebooks. And you do befriend a printer who can give you some good deals. And you don't necessarily print thousands and thousands. And you don't necessarily use full colour throughout. But you do work with printers who say, I always use coloured paper, but I pretty much print black and white. For my workbooks yesterday, the outer was colour, the inside was white. I'll always give a handout. So if you wrote, so just to get back to the original question was, you've written this 10 page? Beg your pardon, 20 page. All right, so I'm thinking it's 10,000 words, just off the top of my head. That's a long ebook. So that might be, you might do a smaller version for this giveaway, and that $10,000 one, 10,000 word one, 20,000 words. What was it?
20 pages.
20 pages, sorry, getting confused. 20 page, roughly 10,000 word, can be something that you do as stage 2. But stage 1 isn't just promo. Stage 1 is not just, I'm a great printer, I'm a great mortgage broker, I'm a great bookkeeper, I'm a great this, buy me, buy me, buy me. Stage 1 is, here's some information that might be useful. Here's some information that I've gathered over the years to help people. Here's some information, and particularly with the market. Now you might go, oh yeah, but McGraths do that, Lang & Simmons do that, Hookers do that. Yeah, but you need to do that. Something that is even just a couple of pages, and I just envisage that if I'm out networking, someone doesn't hand me an A4 something, but they hand me a deal about the size of that. Is that a checkbook? Oh, a little notebook. Okay, so, well, not quite that, but a DL. Yeah, a DL envelope size. So that's low-cost printing, and it's in font that you can read. Don't ever shrink your font lower than 12, please. Particularly if your market are over 50 and need glasses and don't wear it, please. The font size is so, so, so important. There are entire industries built out of large print books and large print stuff. That's a really big market for the 60 plus. They want to be able to read it. So 3 things people do not know about energy healing. 3 things people do not know about bookkeepers. 3 things people wish they knew about buying jewellery. 3 things people wish, in hindsight, they knew about skin rejuvenation. What I'm wanting to do is drill into your brain and get that information out. So a way you can do that really simply, you can use your phone, you can use your computer, but I suggest that you think about going to JB, if you're really serious about doing this, go to JB Hi-Fi or something similar and buy yourself a little audio record. That's a voice record, pretty much like we're using here today. This is more advanced than the one that I've got. I can have a conversation with an author or a client, record it, I can upload it, and I can have it transcribed. Now, you can go to a website called Elance, E-L-A-N-C-E, E-L-A-N-C-E, elance.com, and when you go there, it says, what's your job? And you go and you say, I've got a 1 hour. I think what you end up with, Gary, am I right in thinking on this recorder you end up with what's called, I call them a WAV file, but it's WAV. It's a WAV file that is uploaded. I've got a 1 hour WAV file I want transcribed into a Word document. A 1 hour WAV file transcribed into a Word document. And they come back and go, now, I'll give you the tip, 1 hour is roughly 5,000 words. So half an hour is more than enough for your ebook. 2,500 words, more than enough for an ebook. And that will cost you about $20 for 2.5, for 30 minutes and $50 for an hour. And they send back, usually overnight. It works a bit, if you've ever worked on those online things where you bid a bit, it's not eBay, but they've got testimony, 99 designs and those sorts of things where they do design work. They give a sample and they've got a bit of a history of the person and you can pick the one that you want. So I never send, initially, I never send hours of work. I just say, here's half an hour. And you get that half an hour back. And they might be in South Africa, they might be in Pakistan, they might be wherever they are. But $50 to them is a lot of money. And it comes back. And you can either develop a friendship and a relationship with that person and work with them. The minute you say the work is good, you have received it and you're happy with it, the funds are released into them. So initially they take a $50 hold on your credit card. And then they release the funds and go back to you. So you get, so for go fast people who want to write, that's the way they write books. One of my ways that they write books. Record the information and download. But back to your ebooks, if you can create this DL envelope, DL size, I'm thinking, like this, and I met you at a networking event, and you say, oh, look, I've got some information about this quarter, and you print 100. You're not printing thousands. Sorry, Patrick. You print 100. And then when you use them up, you go, well, gee, that only lasted 2 weeks. Because rather than give it, oh, look, I'll give you a business card. Are you interested in the housing market here? Look, here's some. Are you interested? So you two get together. You could have on the back your business card and his business card, and you could network each other. We're getting into strategic alliances, but you know that's what it's about. Who else can you network? So if you're the work that you do with your theta healing, the work that someone else does, you can both promote on the back, but it becomes, oh, this is interesting. Oh, I've got this. Oh, can I have another one of those to pass on to my friends? Certainly you can. So you start to see hard copy works because people, have you ever seen someone when their computer dies, or have you had that experience yourself? Or it's not good. Not happy Jan when that happens. You can lose. Yeah, even if you got backup, it's still an episode to get it all started. Do you want to share with the person beside you? What's your thoughts on that? Can you see that all this wonderful information that's floating around in your head, whether you're 20 or 50, is floating around and you want to do something with it? Just two minutes, share with the person beside you if you would. What are your thoughts, though, on that whole sharing information that isn't just advertorial? Do you see the benefit? Particularly if you're doing something that's a little bit different. But
I was saying I subscribe to those, when you see 7 things or
Yeah.
3 things,
Yeah.
because, we're all time poor, so sometimes
you don't want 99.
Book,
Yeah, that's it.
20% of books
Don't get read. Totally, yeah.
So, I subscribe to those, but I never thought of doing it, for
Yourself,
my
yeah.
family. So
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
real eye-opener.
So the 3 biggest mistakes, that's, you don't tell, here's the 7 ways I do everything. It's the 3 biggest mistakes. That's that, and
You do see that all the time.
yeah, 3 biggest mistakes, and then you might have another 3 mistakes, and you might go from 3, that original 3, and then you take it to 7, and then you take it to 10. So it just becomes a different version of what you. But you're only talking now. This will test you. How many, stop doodling on the phone and tell us how much it would cost, Patrick, to get what would be the most efficient way. If we had, don't want full colour, I want coloured outer, coloured cover, white on the inside, black ink, and it would be very simply laid out because it would basically be a Word doc that you just sort of put into the page, paginate thing. And it's only going to be no more than maybe 20 pages, so it'll be a multiple of 4. Okay, let's make it 16 pages. 16 pages, and it would be maybe 100. You'd quote for 100, 250, and 500. No, I know I'm stretching the friendship to say, and you're going to go, what coloured paper? Well, this will do, this sort of thing. But, maybe 110 GSM cover.
Okay, that's no problem.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is A4, like size-wise. When you go down to that's what they call DL.
Yes, correct.
And the reason it then
Fits in a DL envelope. Yes,
which
correct.
is made 5 millimetres bigger so it
Yeah.
can slide in.
Yeah.
In this world of digital printing, 10 copies is fine, 100 copies is fine. It's printed digitally.
Yeah.
And it would only cost, whether you get 100 or whether
Yes.
you
Yep.
get 200, it would only cost probably about $2
Perfect.
per
Perfect.
unit.
That's what I want. Okay, great.
Right.
Now, would
Very cheap.
DL? We're talking DL size. No. It was 16 pages. 16 pages inside. 16 pages and the cover. The cover
Also, Robyn,
is going to say
A4
half, folded to A5.
A5.
Same price or cheaper?
And if you about the same price.
About the same price. Okay.
But if you can also go to A6.
No, I don't want to go to A6. Too small.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay. So because A6 is small font.
Oh, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Oh, no. So, no, but that's okay. No, that's good. DL or A5. Okay? You can make the choice depending. Well, the customer's right. So, okay, try both. Try both. And why I say that is it just becomes...
It tends to be a convenient size for women, I've found. It fits
Don't
in the
generalise.
bag.
Just quit while you're ahead, buddy. Quit while you're ahead, Marty. Quit while you're ahead. That's why I've gone DL, because it'll sort of fit into things. So someone may trial it. Someone may trial it and give us feedback. But that's where you start, is 3 biggest mistakes. Make a point, tell a story, and you're only looking all up at maybe 1,000 words, 2 A4 pages. That won't go to 16 unless you space it a bit. You might put a graph in there, you might put a photo, you might put something, but now you guys might go a bit. You two might go a little bit longer. Mentioned, pick some comparison, and you don't have to invent it all yourself. I subscribe to a number of things. So I do a blog about LinkedIn on Women's Network Australia. At least 2 of those blogs, 50% of those blogs are whatever the latest press release on LinkedIn is about. And then I found Roy Morgan, and they do a whole thing on surveys and results. So I'm putting in, and I'm quoting where it came from. I don't just steal it. I say, in the latest Roy Morgan index, blah, 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 on such and such a date, they said this. LinkedIn has made these changes because of this, according to so-and-so in the Australian on this date. So, but you're keeping it fresh, and you're looking like a quarterly newsletter. Okay, that's perfect. And that is one of the really good things of LinkedIn. And we will touch on that. We'll just shove it in shortly, do a little mini LinkedIn module. It is a fantastic research tool, a fantastic research tool for alliances, for getting to know people, for meeting people, for following up, looking at what they do, looking for prospects, all of that. It's a great tool. So we will come to that in a tick. And that's part of it is you do get the birthdays, you do get the change of jobs.
So I worked hard on Facebook to get that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's just whiz down here. Bottom of page 1, I'm just going to look at some of these questions. Does your reinvention decision conflict with other priorities? Family, location, finances, studies. It can be a conflict from time to time. So you've got to get a bit of negotiation happening there. What does the market in this or other regions desperately need? Maybe that's a brainstorm that you can do. At the end of today, we might look at that. What's something that Shell Harbour, the Wollongong, Shell Harbour, Illawarra region desperately needs? Think about that. We'll come back to that. Would you consider studying to improve your situation? I talked about going to the Screenwriters Conference, best investment ever. I think if I go to Tribeca, New York, the film festival, that'll be a great. I'm volunteering at the Gold Coast Film Festival. I volunteered last year. You meet and greet people when they come in, you give them the programs. This year they made me volunteer manager. Very exciting, got an upgrade. That was fun. I met some lovely people. I've got a little film group that meets once a fortnight. We go to the movies, we go and have coffee after and talk about what we like. They fit in with my schedule. Next week we're going to see whatever. But that is part of my reinvention. And when I volunteered for the volunteer manager, and she said, well, you know, you can go to as many films as you like, and here's the pass and blah, blah, blah. I said, you know, the only thing I want to do, I want to go to the movie convention that's held in October. I will pay for myself to go. But I want to go to the movie convention, and I can't go as me because I am not eligible. And she said, oh no, we get passes. I said, great. I don't want to pass, I'm happy to pay, I just want you to let me go. She said, sure, you can go. Because that's hanging out with people who are in that industry. So it was worth doing a week's worth of movies for the film festival. That was a few good ones. Would you consider studying? Okay, MOOCs, you know about MOOCs, massive online open courses. MOOCs are free, MOOCs. You can do a MOOC on absolutely every topic in the world. A lot of universities do MOOCs and give you a bit of a taster for a topic, and then at the end of it they promote, if you've enjoyed this, you can actually go online and do a diploma or a Cert 3, Cert 4 or a degree in something. So MOOCs they've been around a few years now, but they're a great way to learn. So there's no excuse for anyone, children included, teenagers, unemployed people no excuse that they can't go, if they have access to a computer, that they can't learn something every day, if they wish.
I wonder if you can, you know, in my business about, you know, teaching things, whether you can actually utilise that, put a freebie on.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect for you. Absolutely perfect. So then so Zoom would be, yeah, ask a lot of questions about whatever online platform you use, because you can sign your life away using their software and so much a month. And so maybe research that. I'm doing some research on that at the moment myself, but there's lots of little hidden traps there. So ask lots of questions about the long-term cost of what you're doing. But that's perfect for MOOCs. For many of you, your energy work would be perfect. A MOOC would be perfect. So you don't give all your information. Again, the skin rejuvenation, same thing. You're giving a little bit of information, so it's just another platform. Are you prepared to say no to an opportunity at least once a week? It might be, do you want to come out for dinner tonight? No. I'm studying. I'm researching, if you don't want to say study. I'm researching my reinvention. I'm doing reinvention research. What's that? I'll let you know when I've reinvented. Just because you're invited to do something isn't a good enough reason to do it. So this is the main thing that you needed to get out of this morning. What do you bring to your reinvention? Or your job every day. It's your life experiences. So Patrick, to be able to say, yes, this is how much a deal, and I know that was off the top of his head, but he'll honour what he said. Yeah. And maybe recommend other things, better ways, different ways. And I know I want DL, I know I want a, you know, an A5 thing rather than the little ones, but there might be other ways that you form a relationship with your suppliers and look at how can we work together to share information, ultimately to share databases. That's what you're doing. But you don't have to mass print thousands. That's the old model. The new model is short runs and do them regularly.
And in colour.
Yeah. So if you knew you wouldn't fail, now at the back here, so this guy at the bottom, Busyness Bubble, Greg McEwen, I think you pronounced that, take 3 hours every 3 months to identify 3 things to accomplish over the next 3 months. Take 3 hours every 3 months to identify 3 things to accomplish over the next 3 months. That's a really good tool for reinvention, because you diarise that. Oh, it's my reinvention research time. That's what I'm doing. And then on the back page, so this could be an ebook, an expanded ebook, this back page, where it's called 7 Keys to Reinventing You and Your Business. So if I was using that heading for this ebook model, I could say, all right, this based on my 40 plus years in the corporate world, I have found that reinvention is now almost compulsory for business today, so that they remain abreast of what's happening in the marketplace, their customer needs, and the trends that are coming in. And that's part of that whole reinvention, just with products. So in your jewellery shop, you'd be offering things that you so didn't offer 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 5 years ago. Whole different ball game in terms of the services. Bookkeeping, what you offer now, and probably doing a lot more than what you might have done years before. Printers, certainly working in alliance with people, and energy work, another whole field. The skin rejuvenation, what's available now as against what was available 5 or 10 years ago. And property, huge market. So complete a skills audit. List all the things that you're good at. I could write a whole paragraph on that. That's on page 4, the back of page 4. Identify 1 or more market needs, career opportunities, or possible scenarios. So you're looking at, okay, what's happening here? This amalgamation is very big in this area. It's across New South Wales. It's not in other states. It's across New South Wales. So whatever happens here could happen in other pockets. There may be opportunities. You've got to look at the situation. Research any courses, study or training that might enhance your reinvention. So we talked about that. And label that as reinvention research. That's what I'm doing. I read the paper every day. That's my reinvention research. I read with the eyes of what's different, what's new. I subscribe to some newsletters on trends. I look at different things. And I look at it with a discerning eye, and I can tell the difference between marketing and information. So I don't just want something. One of the authors I'm working with at the moment, she gave me all these articles she's written. I said, 50% of these are advertorials. She said, what does that mean? I said, you're just telling me how great you are. You're not giving me a story. Oh, is that not good? I said, if you write a book of advertorial, you'll be asked for refunds. If you write and you don't give content, no one will read your stuff. People read your stuff because you give content. Okay, so we'll ditch. I said yes. So you did think you had 25,000 words? I reckon you got 10,000 words by the time we ditched the advertorial. Yep. Once you decide what you're looking for, work out your budget. Work out your budget. Is it $50 a week? Does it mean that you're not going to do one thing that you do so you can do this? So for me to go to my screenwriters conference, big commitment, so there were a few things that I didn't do that I would normally do in the lead up to that. When I get to New York next year, there'll be a lot of things I don't do leading up to that. And hopefully the dollar's a bit healthier than it is now. But that's what you do because you're going, okay, this reinvention, it's not going to happen. It's not going to close my eyes and go, oh, gee, you're a screenwriter. Whoop-de-doo. Overnight. It's not going to happen. Create an action plan and multiple small steps. What can you do today? What can you do tomorrow? What can you do next week? Tell your network, be warned there will be knockers. So that's why you need a support network. Part of the alliances, we'll talk about mastermind groups. Very important. You've got to yes, they are related to you. I know. Yeah, most of them are related to you. So that's why you need an external network. Ask for help before you need it. Very important one for women. We think we have to be super women and be able to know everything, do everything automatically with no help from anyone.
I don't know, I think you're generalising there now.
Do you think? Do you think men do that too? Yep. Oh, do they? Oh. Do you think? I always think, I see the difference. I see men go, oh, mate, give us a hand. Oh. And the mate will go, yeah, sure, and they do it. Yeah. Whereas women will go, I'll do it, I can do it, I can do it.
But it's like that, it's like that thing in the...
Oh, okay.
It's like the, you know, going somewhere...
When they get lost, yeah. I've seen those ads, yeah. They're good. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right, well, point taken. Right. All right, so do what you love. The money will follow eventually. And sometimes the reinvention... Don't die wondering what if. I cannot tell you how many people I've met who go, you know, I came up with that idea, and I said, yeah, but they took action. I thought of that ages ago. I told you about that, Robyn. I told you about that. I said, yes, but they took action. You just talked about it. You've got to take action. What might I regret not having done?
If I had 6 months to live, what would I be doing?
Yes, that's it. That's it. What can I do in this moment to keep moving ahead? Well, you're here, so that's great. Don't underestimate the energy and effort it takes to reinvent yourself. It does take a lot because it's major change. It's coping with a huge change. And then there's also that, oh my goodness, I can tell you, that's what I might write, the stages of reinvention. You go through this, oh, okay, oh yeah, well, this is good, this has worked out. And then it's like, what am I doing? What did I think? How did I think I was going to make a living doing this? What or who might potentially derail your reinvention plans?
The people you live with.
And you can also derail it because of fear of the unknown. Okay. Journaling is fantastic. Okay, so let's bring the reinvention together. You've got your homework to go through and finish that list of what you want to be feeling and what you want it to look like 12 to 24 months ahead. Perfect timing. And just to think that reinvention isn't this today's Thursday, tomorrow Friday, I've reinvented myself. It's not an overnight thing, but there will be opportunities. So I really encourage you to soak up, to be a sponge for information, but to be very discerning about research that you see and reports that you read about who funded this. I read one the other day that sugary soft drinks were good for you, or as good for you as something else, and I did query that one. And when you dig a bit deeper, I think just because it's in the paper or it makes a bit of a headline or it's on a thing on Facebook, or it doesn't mean it's fact, and it doesn't mean that it's based on sound research. So I would love to keep in touch with you and hear about your reinvention plans, because as they come to fruition, and if I can assist in any way, I'd love copies of that. And why I like DL is you can pop it into a DL, meet someone, and how I reactivate a lot of old clients is to write an ebook and then email it out, or get some good, if it's a big ebook, get some A4 size, spiral bound. Those big clients I've got that have invested a lot of money over the years, and I posted out, hi, saw this and thought of you. Email me if you want the soft copy and I'll send it to you for the staff. So I'm not sending 50 for the staff, I'm just sending one for the CEO, but it's a good quality, full colour, blah, blah. That's how it goes. So we'll bring it all together now, and what I'd love to do, just while I'm setting up for the strategic alliances, is just have you look at your notes, chat to the person beside you, and think in terms of what are 2 things I'm going to do in the next 7 days based on what I've heard since 9 o'clock this morning. What am I going to go through? So just 2 things.